Welcome to a new daily top AskReddit video. Today's topic.
Men, what did you find out about women when you got a girlfriend? If she asks if you want ice cream, she wants ice cream and wants you to say yes so that she can get ice cream. Laying in bed with a girl the morning after back in college, she said, "You sure do have a lot of CDs," looking over at my CD rack. I looked over there and was like, "Yeah," and kept talking. Later in the day we were talking with others and she was like, "And you didn't even play any music?" And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "I told you to put on some music and you didn't and we just laid there." And I was like, "You never told me to put on any music." And she was like, "Yes I did." And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "I told you you had a lot of CDs." And I was like, "That's not what that means. Why wouldn't you just say, hey, let's listen to some music?" It's a weird passive thing, like they've been trained to never say what they want for fear of being seen as assertive or pushy. Like they're not allowed. It's both sad and exhausting. This isn't all women, just women that were brought up in a specific way. As little girl, you are often called rude or bossy or selfish if you directly ask for what you want, need. "May I have a cookie?" is a gluttonous, presumptuous child, but "those cookies smell delicious" is a nice, polite, charming little girl that deserves a treat. So you learn to play the game. Ask directly, get insulted and don't get what you want, need. Be nice and sweet and drop hints and get rewarded for playing the game, right? But it means that you never learn to ask to directly for what you need, want. It's a really hard habit to break once you realize you are doing it. Spot on. When I ask my boyfriend, "Do you want a dessert?" he answers, "You want it. Let's have it." Quote. Most women need iron. For smelting, probably trying to forge iron daggers to get their smithing levels up. Makes so much sense now when I think about it. The women yearn for the mines. Real, I fucking hate how medicine is clueless about women's bodies. Checking iron levels yearly should be standard. I went in for an ear infection once, they ran my blood work and gave me 2 bags of blood FFS, I was that anemic. It's really keeping us tired and unhealthy. Told my new doc, when I was in the hospital a few years back, for something unrelated, they found out I'm anemic. He says, not as mansplainy, that because I have heavy periods yada yada most women are iron deficient yada yada, kinda waves it off. We take my blood, check all the stuff, results come in and for literally every scale where being all the way on this side means, "Girl, you are fucking anemic," I shot it out of the park. He messaged me the day after we get the results and was like, "Okay, I'm giving you a script for iron, lol." Having at least 1.5 bathrooms is indispensable. Abso-fucking-lutely, my boyfriend has the nastiest smelling shits. Edit, corny Reddit response, but yay, this is my first award ever. Thank you stranger. I have yet to use the bathroom after someone of any gender has been taking a huge shit where it smelled like cinnamon buns and fresh laundry. You realize how much you learn about yourself through her. Whether it's how you react to situations, how much you value certain things, or even what you really need in life. This is one of the most self-aware comments I've read on Reddit. Instead of pointing out her quirks or flaws, you use those moments to think about why you feel that way. Christ yes, this is something I've been trying to do more recently. Why is she doing what she's doing? What am I feeling? Why am I feeling that way? How should I be responding right now? 90% of the time she's doing what she's doing out of love for me, and because she wants me to be happy. Then letting that insight inform the rest of the questions is really helpful. Their shirt's button on the other side. This blew my mind. Made me realize that suit jacket I got from the Salvation Army with the cool buff shoulders, weird fit, and backwards buttons maybe wasn't designed to be extra manly after all. Mysterious. It is mysterious because the buttons are on the wrong side. That's the mystery. Posh men dressed themselves. Posh women had a maid to do it. Apparently the reason sounds as good as any other, I suppose. This is the correct, historically accurate reason why the buttons are reversed. Also, we've only had functional buttons on clothing for a couple hundred years. The buttons are reversed because clothing was designed to be pinned on before buttons existed. And pinning took a long time to do by servants. So it's a carryover from when we used pins. How much hair they shed. Like, how does a woman shed so much hair and yet have so much hair? Exclamation mark. No, it's just that longer hairs are way more noticeable when they fall out. Source, I'm a dude who grew out his hair, yummy face. The craziest part is the weird places the hair will get into. How did this hair get halfway into the upper deck of the toilet on its own? How did this hair get wrapped around my balls? How did this hair get wrapped around my balls? I wondered this for a long time as well. I finally realized it happens in the washing machine. Hair gets stuck in your underwear and then it ends up smothering your balls. My mom couldn't cook for shit. I learned that when I learned how to cook. My mom has a weird aversion to spices of any kind. She doesn't even salt her pasta water, and believes that meat shouldn't have a drop of moisture in it by the time you're done with it. As an adult, I came to realize just how good some food can taste. Your mother is going to make me spontaneously learn Italian curse words. Never tell her that. Of course, I didn't. But it was painfully obvious to everybody in my family that my wife was not only an excellent cook, she also had higher expectations towards food. My mom often serves food with no sauce. Imagine a schnitzel with some cooked potatoes on a plate with no sauce. She always said that sauces are so much work and she can't do them too well, and it's stressful for her. One time we visited and got served some exceptionally dry roast with potatoes. My wife asked if she could use the stove to make a sauce. My mom said yes, but expressed her concern that the food might be cold when the sauce is ready. 5 minutes later, the sauce was ready. Just a simple roux with some of the meat juice from the roast. Closing parenthesis. Often women just need to talk about their issues, not looking for a solution. Had an ex flip out on me for offering solutions and coming up with plans when she'd talk about her problems. That was when I learned to say things like, "That sucks, I can't believe that happened," and "You don't deserve this." That must be so frustrating. When you enter a relationship, you then somehow become much more likable to women. I'm in love currently, and the female bartenders at my local pub have gone from playful banter to in-depth conversations about their relationships. When I was single, they did not care to get to know me. Now that I have a GF, it's like I have a whole new friend group of women. Weird place, Earth. That makes perfect sense to me as a female. The bartenders kept you at arm's length because they didn't want to give you the wrong impression. Once you were in a relationship, you were safe. Quote, "We see you as safer, since another woman is also deeming you safe." Exactly this. I know a guy's wife or girlfriend. I know I'm probably pretty safe to have a nice casual conversation without that guy taking it the wrong way. Too many guys construe politeness as interest. A lot of dads are really mean to their daughters. Yeah, the real world has never been as mean to me as my dad. Right. The lesson I got was, everyone has the capacity to be an asshole to you, especially family. This is so sad. I suddenly feel so overwhelmed with gratefulness for my dad. The phrase, "Do you want comfort or solutions?" is going to save you a whole lot of headache. I use, "Do you want to talk about it?" a distraction, or space. That they have no pockets. I got a job as a proctor at a testing center, and one of our duties was to ensure the examinees weren't carrying cheat sheets in their pockets. I had utterly no clue about women's clothing until then, but women's pockets are horrible. I don't know which I hated more, the totally fake pockets that are just stitching, or the ones that are useful in the sense that they might hold a quarter in it. Now I understand the phrase, "It has pockets." So much better. That I snore and move way too much in my sleep. Why are men always jumping when they sleep? Exclamation mark. Hoop dreams. Doing your own makeup is art. It's hard. Sometimes, I just sit there watching her do it. One time my GF put eyeliner on me and it was truly a horrible experience. I gained respect for makeup in a different way because of that, haha. They don't stick those pads to themselves. It sticks to their underpants. Mind blown, exploding head. I, a woman, gave a pad to a male coworker once who had a hemorrhoid that wouldn't stop bleeding. I was his manager and he'd told me he didn't want to go home, but he was about to bleed through his pants. A few hours after I'd given it to him, I asked him how he was feeling. He said, "I'm okay. I wish this thing wasn't ripping my ass hair out though." Because this, getting your pubes ripped out by the adhesive, is a thing that happens to women, too. I laughed and said, "Oh yeah, that sucks." Then another hour later I realized what had happened and gave him another one and gently told him the sticky part goes on his underwear. I felt absolutely terrible for having assumed he knew what to do. I would bleed out and die before I tell my boss about my leaking hemorrhoids. What the hell did you think we did with those things? Loudly crying, loudly crying, loudly crying. You know, like seal them around your vagina, so no blood can escape. No matter how much of a macho you are, you need to do some girly shit with your woman. It's not because she wants to emasculate you or bend your will or she expects you to enjoy it even, it's because she wants to share some of her daily life with you. On the other hand, women don't mind doing some manly shit with you because, guess what, they are willing to share some of your daily life with you. Most stuff that's gendered labeled really isn't gendered at all. Knitting, crochet, painting, dancing, sugary drinks. They're not feminine at all and are enjoyed by many men. Football, video games, woodworking, axe throwing, and whiskey. They're not masculine and there are tons of women who love them. If your partner wants to share something they like with you, absolutely give it a try. If you don't like it, oh well, you gave it a fair shot. But there's a good chance that you're finding a new hobby or interest that would never have come up on your own. And yes, I've known both men and women who have refused to try the activities I listed because they viewed them as not part of the gendered activities. Dancing, sugary drinks. Fellas, is it gay to dance? To have a Coke? Where does shit like this come from anyway? That they get super upset when you use their decorative towels and pillows sad face. Also do not use a thing called oat peptides to jerk it. Not worth the yelling. That teeny bottle costed like $50. On the plus side, my nuts look like they're 20 again. My man used my drunk elephant face cream to jerk it, nearly had a stroke. He's lucky he still has hands. I already learned my lesson about the teeny bottles by having to go to Sephora. Why are they so fucking expensive? I was at a buddy's parents' house for a pool party back when he lived with his parents. I asked him if I could borrow a towel and he said, sure, grab me one too, they're in the upstairs cabinet. So I go upstairs and the first cabinet I open is filled with perfect white towels. I open the next cabinet and there's even more white towels. I figure that they have white towels for the same reason most people do, because they're easiest to clean with bleach, so I grab two and head back downstairs. I hand my buddy his towel and he looks at it and says, oh, you grabbed the white towels. Yay, they were the ones in the cabinet. We don't really use the white towels, they're decorative. Dude's mom had 2 cabinets full of decorative white towels in an upstairs cabinet. I'm still a bit annoyed about it, LMAO.